Today is St. Patrick's Day, and we're going to look at some green knives. First, this is a Rosecraft Blades Obed Creek Bow Trapper. Has beautiful green covers. Give you a closer look. Next, we have a Rough Rider Classic Moose in G10. This is a very seldom seen knife. I don't see other people with this. You have green G10 and then a brown on the end. So it's your classic moose pattern. It's about the size of a 75 Stockman. Then you also have your clip point. These are in 440A. Half stops. And to go along with that is the Rough Rider Classic G10 Stockman. This is a 3 7/8 inch class Stockman, which is really nice. I like this size knife a lot. There's a look at this one. Again, 440A. This one's got pretty good snap. Next is a Case 6375 large Stockman. These are about as good as it gets. This is one that I've worked on in the past. There's some videos, probably from a year ago or so, where I've dyed this one and did some work on improving the jigging. These are just beautiful knives, and they're excellent work knives. It's hard to get a better work knife than the Stockman. Next, we have a Boker Traditional Series 2 Green Jig Bone Trapper. Now, this one did have a few issues. The main issue with this was the nail nick. I had to grind this nail nick deeper using a Dremel and a cutoff wheel, because just like the spay blade, your nail will slip off of there. The spay blade works because you can pinch it from the other side, and it's no problem to open that. These are in D2. Outside of the nail nicks, it's a beautiful knife. Excellent edge retention. I've reprofiled the edge on this. There you can see D2. These are great knives for the money. These were about $40 when I bought them. I think they've gone up since then. It's a Rough Rider Stoneworks Congress. These are hard to get the blades out so that you can see them without cutting yourself, because there's so many of them. We're going to try. You can see you got the green here in the center. You get different types of stone. You get abalone. These are just beautiful knives. I really like Rough Rider Stonework series. If you don't have any, I would advise you to pick some of these up. They're in 440A. Next, we have an Ohio River Jack. This is a Warren Cliff. Half stops. The C. Reisner brand, M390. Here you can see Ohio River Jack. All titanium construction, green canvas micarta, M390 blade, all screwed together. Modern traditional. These are excellent knives. Next, we have a Lion Steel Thrill. This is a very different traditional. This is an integral. You don't really see that. If you look at the back spring. It's part of the frame. And as you can see here, if you look across, it doesn't come apart. The whole frame is one piece. So you have a 3-inch blade. See if you can see this. I think you can see that right there. This is an M390. Got a half stop. You know, the stops on this aren't super firm. This knife has a fairly light pull. As you can see here on this back spring, that's your point. So that's all sprung. Your spring comes from back here. You can see it does have a hardened piece, a hardened stainless steel piece on the end. And this knife has something else that's different. Right there is a pocket clip, but this is completely flush, so you can use this in a leather slip. If you want to put it in your pocket, you simply press on this button like that and slide it in your pocket. It's a very unique, modern, traditional knife. Next is the Ontario Rat Model 1. Everybody has to have a Model 1. This is just a requirement if you're going to be a knife collector. This is the knife that you put out if you want to compare size. If you want to show the size of a knife, you need one of these because everybody knows what this knife is. Benchmade tagged out. This is an OD green with G10 scales. Orange accents. Then we have a classic, the Benchmade 940 Osborne. I've had this knife probably for 12 or 13 years. This is S30V. It's just a great knife. This is a great work knife. You have a nice stout tip on this knife. It's not needle thin like a lot of knives that you're worried about breaking the tip off when you actually do stuff. It's not the most slicey knife in the world, but it still is slicey enough. It does a good job, good enough job on slicing. It's great if you have to carve wood, cut boxes, cut food, just about anything. It's one of the best all-purpose knives that you can have. Lightweight, slender. When you clip this in your pocket, you can still get your hand down in beside the knife with no problem. Zdemko AD 20.5 in 3V with green G10 scales and a Tanto blade. These shark locks are just fun to play with. Very strong lock, very good work knife. Now we're going to move into a couple of fixed blades. This is a Civivi Storm Ridge in Nitro V. Very good looking knife. Handle's just a little bit thin for me, and it's barely big enough. You can see my pinky kind of hits this point over here, but it does work. Very slicey knife, full flat, pretty thin here at the tip, thin behind the edge. Like I said, just excellent. This is an excellent slicer. And to top it off, this is a Work Tuff Gear JX Omega. This is in K329, and the scales are Wilderness Camo G10. There's what it looks like. The balance point is right here, where you would hold the knife. So when you're using this knife, it feels like a small knife because it's balanced in your hand. You don't have to compensate for either a tip heavy or a handle heavy weight. It feels very natural and very good in the hand. So you can choke back on this for chopping or choke up for fine work. So there's my collection of green knives for this St. Patrick's Day. That's going to be it. We'll see you on the next video.